Welcome back, grade sixes. Today we're going to look at two-digit division with decimals and no decimals. We'll look at both. So here we go. So the first example here shows 23 divided by 5. So it's asking you to place the 23 here. Where does it match in the number line? So the 23 would go right here. So 23 is between 20 and 25. So it's basically saying, which multiples of 5 are these? Well, 5 times 0, 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 3, 5 times 4, 5 times 5. So 23 is in between 4 and 5. So same thing here with 237. 237 would be right around here. And which multiple of 50 is it in between? Well, here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this will get explained in the upcoming slides. Okay, so which two multiples is 5? Multiples of 5 is 23 between. So we said 4 and 5. And here it's also 4 and 5. So which two multiples of 8 is 29 between? So if we were to do 8, start with 0. We have 8, 16, 24, and 32. These are the numbers that are multiples of 8. So this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason why it's 1 is because 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. So which two multiples is 29? Well, 29 is going to be right around here. So that would be between 3 and 4. Same would apply for this one here. We just added a 0, an extra place value. So this is also 3 and 4. Doesn't matter that the 6 is here. Okay. So this will get explained. So let's look at long division. If we're going to do long division, which is my preferred method if I don't have a calculator, that these are what we're saying here is that they are exactly the same. And I'm going to show you how to do this using long division. So let's look at the first example here. 20 divided into 175. So the number 20, we look at it. Does 20 go into 1? No, it doesn't. So we need to include both digits next. Does 20 go into 17? It does not. So now we have to look at 20 going into going into 175. So one way to look at this is this, just to do some multiplication. So 20 times 1 is 20. We need to get to 175. We cannot go over 175. So 20 times 2 would be 40, times 3 is 60, times 4 is 80, times 5 is 100. So we're getting closer. Times 6 is 120. Times 7 is 140. We're right at the answer here, 160. And times 9 would be 180. So it cannot go in 9 times because that would be too much. So the answer we're looking for is this one right here, 8. And it goes over here, because this is the digit. We needed this digit to make this happen. So we put it above that digit, because 20 goes into 1 0 times. 20 goes into 17 0 times. So now you would follow the same rules as division as we've always been following. So 8 times 20 is 160. Subtract them, 15. And in this case, it's not asking us to do the remainders or decimals, so we'll stop right there. It goes in 8 times. In this example here, we'll use some decimals. So same thing here. You have 30. Does 30 go into 1? No. Does 30 go into 14? No. But 30 goes into 143. So let's do some multiplication. 30 times 1 is 30. Times 2 is 60. Times 3 is 90. So we're getting closer. 120 and 5 is 150. So we can't go over. The answer we're looking for is 4. So we put a 4 there. 4 times 30 is 120. Subtract these. We get 23. So now when you're using decimals, you put a decimal here, and then you bring down a 0, because that's what is after here. There's a decimal here, and these are all zeros. And this would continue. So I'm not going to go through the whole process because it's going to take too long. But this is how you would do long division with decimals, something that you've not been taught yet. Okay, and this is just going to keep repeating at 6. Okay. So what makes this problem harder than the other ones? Well, what makes this problem harder is that the 49, we have to see if it goes into 1, which it doesn't. Does it go into 16? It doesn't. So now we have to do the whole number. So here, what they're saying here is just to do some estimation. So 49, you can change it to 50. And then the 167, they recommend that you keep it the same. So I find this confusing to just estimate one and not the other. But 50 goes into 167 about 3 times. So that's what would happen here. Okay, so estimate the quotient by rounding the divisor. Quotient is the answer in division. The divisor is this number here, the number you divide by. So for A, 19, we're just going to estimate it as 20. 20 into 164. So basically, if you look at it this way, how many times does 2 go into 16? So pretend these aren't there. Well, the answer is 8. And there you go, you would have that. 38, you can round that to 40. 40 into 251, you're basically asking yourself, how many times does 4 go into 25? So 4 times a number gets somewhat close to 25, and that number would be 6, because that would be 240. Okay, this is a very tricky concept. So obviously you have a calculator, which I encourage you to use, but this is what's happening when you are like doing this. Like when you see people do math mentally in their heads, this is what they're doing. So round the divisor, which is this, to estimate the quotient, which is the answer. Okay, then multiply the divisor by your estimate. So let's see here. Let's change this to 20 into 143. That should go in 7 times. So multiply the divisor by your estimate. 7 times 20 equals 140. We do not want to go over this number, so we're good. So 52, this would change to 50. 274 stays the same. About how many times does 50 go into 274? It's about 5. So take 5 times 50. It gives you 250. The number stayed below. If we had done 6, 5 times 6, that would have given us 300, and we're over. So that's no good. Okay, no good. Final slide. So here's how you will see a lot of the division written. So when you see it written like this is what you have to do. Okay, I'm going to do this normally. 51 goes into 3 0 times. 51 goes into 32 0 times. The question is, how many times does 51 go into 327? We do not want to go over 327, so I'm going to guess 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. So we have 327 minus 306. So the answer needs to be less than 51. And the answer is 21. So if I were to continue this, I have to put a decimal here. These are all zeros here. Bring down the 0. 51 goes into 210. I'm going to say 4 times as my guess. 4. There we go. Subtract. We get a 6. So this number is going to keep going. I'm going to stop at 2 decimal places. And it keeps going and going and going. So 28 into 184. 28 goes into 1 0 times. 28 goes into 18 0 times. So now we have to figure out how many times does 28 go into 184. My guess is going to say, man, if I make this 30, so if I pretend this is a 30, 30 goes into 184 6 times. So let's try it. I might get it wrong once or twice, but we should get there eventually. 6 times 8 is 48. Carry the 4. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 4 is 16. Yeah, we did good here. 16 is the answer. Carry this down. So how many times does 28 go into 160? Well, 28 goes into 184. It gives us 168. So we can't use 6, so we have to use 5. 5 times 8 is 40. Carry another 4. 140. And this is the last one I'll do. I believe the answer is, let's say 8, even if it's wrong. 4, 6, 16. No, so it's not. The number 8 is too big, so let's erase it. That gave me the wrong answer. Let's erase some of this. Now let's try, well, 8 was too big. Let's try 7. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 2 is 12. Plus 5 is 19. So we have 4 left over. So the number would keep going on and on. I do encourage you to use a calculator. You're going to always have one with you. But this is how you would do it mentally if you're interested. Thanks for watching. I'm in Google Meet with you to help you, so please ask for help. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.